Hey guys, it's me, Steph, and today on the Sleeping Baby vlog, I was really struggling. What should I talk about? There's so many issues that talk about baby sleep, and it seems that that's kind of what you guys are the most interested in, which I totally understand. Y'all are just trying to make it through and survive and get this little sleep that you can, right? So today, this is kind of a vlog that was inspired by my neighbor. She was walking down the street and I'd never met her before, and we got to talking, and she had a little baby that was taking naps that weren't any longer than 30 to maybe 45 minutes. And then every once in a while, he'd take a little bit longer nap, like an hour to an hour and a half. But this was like once every week, if that. And she was just at her wit's end, so exhausted. Like, what do I do? Why is he not napping? So today, I'm going to talk about nap time. And so for those of you who have little ones that don't take good naps, don't take long naps, this is what we're going to talk about today, because I'm going to throw this out there, but there is a common misconception that a lot of people have, and every baby's different, right? And I don't have all the answers. I always like to precursor that because, take what I have to say for a grain of salt. Just a mama trying to do what I can to help y'all based on the experience that I've had with all of our customers and with my own kids. So, but I will say that there is a common misconception out there that some babies just don't nap. My baby's not a napper is something I often hear. Or my baby just doesn't like just takes cat naps or something like that. So I'm going to offer this up and say that there is a way to work through that. Like I said, there's going to be things that are going to affect baby sleep that will affect a little one's nap time unexpectedly, like sleep regressions and growth spurts and things of that sort. But as a general rule, a baby, should be taken naps that are over an hour each time. And for those of you who don't have that, you're like, whatever, like that's ever going to happen. But I can tell you from my own personal experience that it can. My son, Maverick, was a cat napper. Sometimes he wouldn't even nap. I was like, maybe he's just not a napper, but I need the napper because the only time I can work is when he naps, and he's not napping. And this was when he was about, I'd say 6 weeks old or so. I would just lay him in his crib and he would just stare at me. Like, he wouldn't even cry. But he was not going to shut those eyes. He wasn't going to. So it wasn't like one of those non-nappers that was miserable all the time. He was happy. Like, he was a quiet baby, and I would lay him down and he would just stare at me. And I'm like, go to bed. What are you doing? And so I'm like, I've got to figure this out. And so I worked hard with that little boy to get him on a nap routine. And I tell you what, after I did a little bit of sleep training and work with him, he was taking 1.5 to 2 hour naps every time. And now that he's down to just 1 nap a day, he's taking a longer nap, which is about 3 hours every day. So I tell you that to say there is hope, even for those non-nappers out there, okay? So to kind of get you started on what that looks like, let me explain why a baby is not napping. So for example, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to go to the bathroom, or you roll over, or you adjust your pillow, you're waking in the middle of a sleep cycle. So all of us have sleep cycles. Babies do, and adults do. And babies sometimes just need help learning how to get from one sleep cycle to the next sleep cycle. And a baby's sleep cycle is usually around 30 to 45 minutes. So when you're seeing them wake up at that 30 to 45 minute mark, it's because they're waking from a sleep cycle. And if you get them up out of bed thinking, oh, they're just done napping, well, then what that does is it teaches them to just be okay with a 30-minute sleep cycle, when in reality, they need quite a bit much more to be able to get that full rest that they need to be able to grow and develop appropriately. So So how in the world do you teach a baby to go from one sleep cycle to the next? Well, a lot of that is actually discussed in how to teach your baby to fall back asleep or to fall asleep on their own, which is another vlog I did last 2 weeks ago. And so be sure to find that on our YouTube channel, our Zipadee-Zip YouTube channel, and you can kind of see a little bit more about how I would recommend sleep training. And there's a lot of gentle approaches that don't involve much crying. So that's something that's out there too. But first of all, when it comes to getting a baby from one sleep cycle to the next, the most important thing you want to do, and I'm going to go, it kind of lends back to that last video I did, is get your baby on a schedule of some kind. And the more things that you can sort of plan out for your little one so that they can expect those things as opposed to being surprised about those things, the easier it's going to be for that baby to learn how to know when it's time to nap, know when it's not time to get up, and know when it's time to eat, because a baby really lives off of their metabolism. So if you can train their metabolism to say, okay, this is eat time, this is play time, this is sleep time, and in that order, and really try and schedule those 3 things throughout your day in sections based on the nap. And if you can do that, if you can establish a really good schedule, that's going to give your baby a lot better chance of learning how to go from one sleep cycle to the next, just because they can learn to expect when nap time is, when eat time is, so they're not waking prematurely for food and things of that sort. So schedule if you can. Again, be flexible. Things happen. I know not everyone can have this amazing schedule every time. And so just do what you can to try and create that consistency and schedule as much as you can. And then the other thing that I would say about going from one sleep cycle to the next is when they wake up, don't go in there and pick them up right away. Do what you can to try and soothe them while they're laying in the crib so that they understand this is not time to wake up. This is time to sleep. And mommy's not going to kind of enable me to get up and feel like it's time to wake up. She's going to say, okay, I'm going to draw the line here, sweetheart. It's time for bed and this is nap time. And it's going to take consistently doing that for about 2 weeks before they can really understand, okay, I can put myself back to sleep after this sleep cycle happens, and I can figure this out. So make sure to do that, and that will really give your little one the understanding that yes, it's nap time. Also, create an environment that's really comfortable for nap time. Babies' nap schedules and their sleep schedules are kind of 2 different animals, and so it's kind of learning a completely different thing when it comes to nighttime sleep and nap time sleep. So for nap time sleep, you want to create an environment that's cozy, that's comfortable, maybe darken the room, give them a Zipadee-Zip so that they understand when they're zipped up in it, it's time for bed. That's a great sleep cue that will help them understand that it's nap time. And give them a cozy environment to where when they do startle awake or do wake up from a sleep cycle, they're able to be more comfortable to put themselves back to sleep. So those are some tips that I have. I wanted to keep it a little bit shorter today because I went on and on last time. But if you have questions, please let me know. I also want to say one other thing that's really important when it comes to teaching our little one to take a good nap is to never put them down overtired. And when I say overtired, when you have a fussy baby, a crying baby, a baby where, you clearly see that he's tired, you just don't want to put them down overtired, because it's going to be a lot harder for them to fall asleep and fall back asleep after that sleep cycle wakes them. So that's why schedule is so important, so that you can put them to bed when they're not overly exhausted, because it's like I said in the last video, it's a common misconception that babies who sleep maybe stay up longer will sleep better at night. It's actually the opposite. Babies who take better naps during the day and sleep more during the day will always sleep better at night. And yeah, like I said, there are things that are going to kind of come into the sleep routines that may mess things up, like sleep regressions or growth spurts or teething. So keep those things in mind. But I would definitely encourage you guys to know there is hope for those of you who have nappers that just don't take good naps. you can train your little ones and work with your little ones to learn how to fall back asleep when that sleep cycle hits. Okay? All right, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.